Всем привет, дорогие друзья! На ваших экранах до сих пор L.A. Noire. Продолжаем проходить. У нас следующее задание — обнаженный город. Давайте посмотрим. Не будем затягивать. Да, загрузка тут до сих пор долгая. Обнаженный город. Понимаю, текстурки не прогрузились. Так, выход. Пойдемте.
Start introducing us as Detective Earl, and this is my science teacher, Mr. Phelps.
Your interest in my appearance is starting to get me worrying.
Like it or not, we're a dysfunctional couple now. People judge me with you on my arm the same way they would a fat broad with a 5 o'clock shadow.
I really hope you're joking, Roy.
Не понял, что он там говорил, но ладно. Сейчас будем опять с наркотиками, как я понял, разбираться. А он нашел, как тут выйти. Я так и не нашел.
Seem distracted. We recovered the morphine. Some of it might be unaccounted for, so what? That's life. We did our job.
Closing one case opens another.
Do you have any idea what is really going on while we're wasting our time following this stuff?
Are you going to tell me?
The deals being done right now will change the face of L.A. forever, and we're wasting our time on some hump.
Someone's little girl.
Visit the morgue at the end of the month when the John and Jane Does are cremated. Their percentages. The odds for and against lightning striking.
Фанта Джесс. Будем так читать. Место убийства. Да, в смысле место убийства? Снова место убийства. Замечательно.
Second floor, apartment 6, in the back.
Thanks. Bukowski, you made homicide.
That I did. Good to see you, Phelps.
You two want a hug? Or can we get on with it?
Relax, Rusty.
26 years old, fashion model. Found in the tub by the cleaning lady, Mrs. Reynoldson. She called it in.
We heard Carruthers thinks...
Carruthers likes to make work for people. Overdose of sleeping pills. Falls asleep in the tub. Rest in peace. Case closed.
Here, here. Mal is 100% that it's murder.
Do you mind if I take a look around?
Sure. Go right ahead.
Да.
We've had a look around. Rusty thinks it's a waste of time. What's your theory?
Come on, Mal. Tell us why we were dragged down here.
If the victim was alive when she entered the tub, water would have entered her lungs. The water is violently churned in the windpipe as she drowns. The result is that a lot of foam is generated. This foam is found at the mouth and nostrils in almost all cases of real drowning. Notice anything about our Vic?
May I take a look?
Be my guest. Take a closer look at her head and neck.
Her neck is bruised pretty badly.
Да меня больше пугают не синяки на шее, а её лицо. Проработка просто, я не знаю, уровень 2000-х. Ну ладно, получше. Немного.
Very unusual ring.
Угу.
But it looks like a black sapphire.
Видно, по пальцу давно не снимала.
Bruising on the forearms, and these look like bite marks.
Very good. The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down, and another held her arm and injected her. They put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
And spread a trail of barbiturates.
Take a look around outside on your way out and see if you can find the syrettes. It would make my theory.
The morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought syrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something.
This is her in these photos?
Так, хорошо. Здесь мы закончили. Да, нет, место убийства.
A girl like that? Maybe she was having trouble with some boys, huh? Maybe she got her heart broken. Couldn't take it anymore.
Смотрим, что же здесь, зачем это все делали.
Pills, and then she just drifted off.
Quality English smoking jacket. I don't know anyone under 45 who would wear one.
So much drive. I'm sorry, I'm not being very clear.
Stay there. It's okay.
Looks like barbiturates.
А,
Barbiturates. What else is rattling around in this thing? We should speak to a doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make it
Да,
like a
явно.
roller coaster.
Понял. Так, когда отойди, чел. Посмотрим, что у нас тут есть. Утюг? Да не думаю, что есть что-то интересное.
Anything.
Я вот тоже подумал. Не, рановато.
This is all top end of town stuff. Gives us somewhere to look. It's been a modeling assignment. It's a
Угу.
place to start.
И что ты нам интересно расскажешь?
Clothes certainly aren't from the Sears catalog.
И тоже все пусто. Хорошо. Ну, поговорим.
I'm Detective Phelps. I'm here to try and help Julia. Do you mind answering some questions?
Virginia Reynoldson, I'm just so shocked. I feel like there's something I should be doing, someone I should call.
We can make those calls, ma'am. Who needs to be notified?
That's just it. I don't know. Miss Julie doesn't have any family in town. Someone has to set her affairs in order. Mr. Henderson, maybe? Who else is there? I don't know.
If you give the details to the other detectives, ma'am, they can try and get in contact. Was Miss Randall depressed about something? Upset?
No more than normal.
Ложь.
What are you hiding here, Mrs. Reynoldson? Julia was obviously disturbed about something.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
She was taking barbiturates. She couldn't sleep. You must have seen them in her room.
You've seen the pillbox, the things she hid in there. I don't know how she supported herself. Always new clothes and jewelry. She lived like a movie star. A princess. Does modeling really pay that well?
Личная жизнь
Does
живет.
Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I only come around twice a week.
Так, давайте-ка я инстинкт использую. Наврет. Наврет.
Why are you lying to me, Mrs. Reynoldson? Julia had men stay here.
Ну не
I
могу
will
как
not
бы.
speak ill of the dead. You can't prove that.
Who owns the smoking jacket?
I wouldn't like to tell tales, you understand. That's Mr. Henderson's. An older man, very distinguished looking. He
В
seemed very
летах?
much in love with her.
Where would we find
Может,
him?
в годах?
I'm sorry, I don't know. He said he lives in San Francisco.
What was it like working for Miss Randall?
Perfectly fine, officer.
Mrs. Reynoldson, it seems like there's something you want to tell me.
She was very high-strung. Lovely one moment and screaming at you the next. She wanted it all, and she wanted it damn quick. Of course, being so beautiful, it seemed like she was going to get it.
3 из 3.
The way it's turned out, though.
Бум!
Thanks, Mrs. Reynoldson. Very helpful.
Это было легче,
One of
чем
the
я
detectives
думал.
will take your statement and-
Допросить.
Stefan, Rusty, we'll take a look around outside and then follow up these leads. Can you get some guys to run down the jacket?
Получается, мы здесь закончили.
Called it right? He rarely gets it wrong.
I don't know. I'm with Galloway. I've met enough girls in my time who can't handle their dope.
Игра мне напоминает, что я что-то пропустил. Понимаю.
Incidental. Maybe. No.
Не, ну раз игра мне говорит, что я здесь что-то пропустил, значит что-то я пропустил.
This isn't what we're looking for.
Было. Там я осматривал. Это я осматривал. Ладно, пойдем. Понимаю. Да цыц ты там. Клиника доктора.
Can you drive to this one?
Что-то я в этом доме пропустил, но пока не пойму что.
Bukowski, Galloway, quite the little reunion in there. Almost brought a tear to my eye.
They're good police.
How would you know? You got promoted so fast you barely had time to learn their names. Let me fill you in. Bukowski's a pushover. Galloway's a drunk.
You could learn a thing or two from both of them.
Please. They couldn't work a vice case if their life depended on it.
I don't see why they'd be any better or worse at it than me.
I notice you said better. Hubris disguised as humility. Kind of your trademark, don't you think?
Why do you always twist everything? Galloway's got nothing to prove. He's been on homicide for years.
And he's welcome to it. You're a terrier, Phelps, and that's what I need. Not some old bulldog who can't get up a flight of stairs without coughing off his lunch.
Из второй главы, из третьей главы как раз персонажи сейчас были. А это четвертая глава из 5. И она почти закончена. Следующая серия будет последней в этой главе. И будет еще 6 серий. Так, ну пойдемте поговорим с доктором. Тут 5-й.
Here, Stoneman, office
Это
5.
5-й этаж. А в Америке как обычно? Какой этаж? Сначала идет, короче, номер этажа, потом номер,
I swear, if we locked up every doctor in this town, Vice would be
Ну.
able to work half days.
квартиры.
Yes, sir, your name?
LAPD. We'd like to see Dr. Stoneman.
Dr. Stoneman is with a patient. Would you like to wait?
No, we wouldn't. Tell him we want to see him now.
There's no need to be rude.
Save it, sister.
Dr. Stoneman, I have some gentlemen from the LAPD here to see you.
Send them in, please. I'll see this patient again after
LPD.
they've left.
Ну, вообще-то они сказали, что они из полиции Лос-Анджелеса.
Your investigation is much more important than my sciatica. I'm just in pain here. Leave me alone.
Dr. Stoneman, we are investigating the death of one of your patients, Julia Randall.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions about Ms. Randall?
Not if it doesn't compromise doctor-patient privilege, Detective.
How well did you know Miss Randall?
Barely at all. She'd only been a patient 6 months or so.
Мне кажется, пиджак это егоный. Я не уверен. Ну, давайте проверим. Ложь. Пиджак егоный.
Has been your patient for nearly a year. I'm sure you know that.
Do you doubt my veracity, Detective? Do you have access to my patient records?
Looks like I made a mistake. You didn't
Давайте
like
так
her.
сделаем.
Wasn't a question of like, Detective. She was incredibly beautiful. When you looked in her eyes, you knew how a mouse felt before a snake. Not an ounce of warmth there.
You wrote Julia
Что-то я
Randall a
упустил.
prescription for Benzedrine. How can you account for that?
Miss Randall was in the fashion business. She wanted to control her weight.
Ну, допустим, правда.
She didn't appear to have a weight problem.
She had a self-esteem problem. Miss Randall felt her only control over her life was through her appearance.
We often find the more obstructive people tend to be, Dr. Stoneman, the more they have to hide.
This doesn't pertain to the case. Don't think this is any use to us.
Я что-то упускаю, да? А, нет, с клиникой все. Блин, что-то в квартире Джулии я пропустил. Ну вот что? Давайте-ка я съезжу еще раз. Блин, лоханулся с этими вопросами, ну ладно. Как бы не впервой. Так, давайте зайдем. Я немножечко.
The old boy is lying.
About
А,
what?
я знаю.
I don't know. He looked relieved when you said she was dead. That's a strange reaction to have to the death of a young patient.
Я хочу еще раз съездить на эту квартиру и проверить ее.
Have you noticed how croakers only pull out the physician-patient privilege card when they got something to hide?
There are certain things people have a right to keep private.
Until it gets in the way of police work. And it's only private when it suits them. A couple of drinks and every doctor I've met will spill your darkest secrets in a heartbeat.
Так, ладно, смотрим. Я пока не пойму, что я упускаю. Было. Было. И было. А что, я смотрю, все они уже здесь бывали и ушли? Но здесь только это. И то оно бесполезно.
Probably nothing.
Я даже не знаю, что я могу тут пропустить. Вроде бы, знаете, я уже все осмотрел. А, пиджак-то не веся. Ну да. Не весь, блин. Муха, ухо зачесалась. Ужас. Ладно, продолжаем. Ты отойдешь? Ну вот с этим он взаимодействовать, но не хочет. Бляха-муха. Ну ладно, получается, здесь я все осмотрел. Да, я понимаю, что я могу что-то пропустить. Ну тогда магазин одежды. Опять здесь музычка. Такая странная.
You're behind the wheel.
Магазин одежды. Да сын. Так, ну хорошо. Хорошо.
Well, hello. What can I help you with today?
LAPD, ma'am.
I hope I haven't done anything wrong.
No, ma'am.
Да,
Making
есть.
some inquiries about Julia Randall. Does she work here?
No, I had to.
У вас слишком много антисанитарии.
She was found dead this morning. How long had Julia worked as a model?
Well, she worked in New York before coming here. She was a very beautiful girl.
Так. По-моему, она правду говорит, я не
Tell us
знаю.
why you let Miss Randall go?
Husbands sometimes come in here with their wives. When Julia Randall modeled, the husbands were often more interested in her than they were their wives' dresses. The wives weren't happy, and neither was I.
Did she have any close friends here?
Actually, yes. Heather Swanson. Would you like to speak with her?
I'd like that very much. Please don't inform her about Miss Randall's death.
Very well, officer.
Heather?
These gentlemen are from the LAPD.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. I understand that you worked with Julia Randall, Miss Swanson?
Yes. Julia helped me get my job here. She's not in any kind of trouble, is
She's
she?
a hellraiser, isn't she? Lives a fast life.
Oh, no. Maybe Mrs. Stanley would call her that, but I wouldn't. She's full of life, a wonderful company.
That's a lovely engagement ring.
Do you like it? Henry gave it to
I'm
me.
very interested in engagement rings. Do you mind if I take a closer look?
Такое же кольцо, по-моему, было на жертве.
That's some pearl, Miss Swanson. Would have cost Henry a
Ну,
fortune.
можно сказать.
He must really love you. How did you meet Julia?
I was introduced through my fiancé, Henry Arnett.
Henry is your beau. Tell us about it.
Yes, he is. Henry has a fashion business. He and Julia have been friends for years.
Are Miss Randall and Mr. Henderson engaged?
Who's he?
Я поверю ей, конечно.
Someone must have given it to her.
She never mentioned a man named Henderson to me.
That's all for now, Miss Swanson.
Я
Could you ask your fiancé to visit Hollywood Police Station?
не знаю почему, но на ее выражении лица не было
Now wait a moment.
вранья.
I don't think I'll pass on that message until you tell me why you're asking all these questions.
Julia Randall was found dead this morning.
What? Oh no. Oh, I can't believe it. She was so full of life.
Позвоним. Да, в эти года не было мобильника. Тяжело было, наверное, жить. Хотя люди больше на улице гуляли, не то что сейчас.
Yes, detective. The coroner's been asking to speak to you. I can connect the call if you like.
Please, thank you. Al?
Cole, can you get over here? I just finished the autopsy.
Потому что раньше, вот в эти года, дома было что делать? Только телек смотреть, и то черно-белый. Хотя для них это было еще нормально тогда.
You can drive. Do we know where we're going?
Nice move not telling old Sweet Lips in there about her friend taking the big jump till we were half out the door. Very slick.
I figured we'd get more out of her that way.
You're learning, Phelps. We'll make a vice cop out of you yet.
Здорово, док. Что новенького расскажешь? Я-то думал, вы сами дойдете. А мне еще, блин, искать, где он, когда он. А, вот он.
Roy, I have some information for you.
You're the only person enjoying this, Mal. Get on with it.
The bruising confirms 2 sets of hands, so we have 2 killers. Death was caused by heart failure due to an overdose of morphine.
Have you dragged us down here to gloat? We already
Морфина.
heard your theory.
We agree that she was murdered.
Вот это и надо было, когда я нажимал ложь, когда я был у этого психолога, надо было морфин выбирать.
Mal, what gives?
The dead guy's name is Jimmy LeBlanc, career burglar. He came in this morning. Someone stove his head in with a lump of 2x4.
So what? Good riddance.
I found 2 cigarettes in his jacket pocket.
Wow.
Hang on a minute, Roy. We're listening now.
No sign of morphine use and no metabolized morphine in his blood. Scratch marks on his face.
Which could be from getting his head.
На, его не
removed.
киселька так отфигачили.
Maybe an hour or 2 after the Randall girl.
So you're saying Laughing Boy here could be one of our killers? That's a hell of a long shot.
Thanks, Mal. We'll check it out.
I found something else.
Да.
Sorry, I don't play.
I don't know if it's significant. His wallet was empty. The only other things he was carrying were the harmonica and the morphine. Carruthers. Yeah, he's here. I'll send him over. They have a guy called Henry Arnett in interview 2 for you next door. Let me know how you get on.
Sure, Mal. And thanks for the lead.
Sure, Mal. Thanks for the lead.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
А чё мне вот показывает? Я не понял. Это, возможно, пока просто так обозначается. Ну ладно, поехали. Туда, куда надо.
You're behind the wheel.
Where are we going?
Плюс отделение полиции.
We're here
Ха,
now.
мы шустрые, смотри-ка.
Arnett is in interview too, Phelps. Go help him get whatever it is off his chest.
I want to make homicide. You know you made it.
This guy was willing to rat his own mother after I'd sweated him.
That bum took a swipe at me. I put him down in my
А куда мне?
I didn't come to California to be a secretary.
Слушай, я потерял место, ты не подскажешь? А кому нам? Так, давайте-ка еще раз посмотрим. Так, угол де Ломпре. Волкокс. Отделение департамента полиции. Может, не надо было заходить в здание?
Hey, I gave his wife a tap. I said all's fair in love and war.
Heaven!
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
I'm trying to imagine you with a personality.
Так, я что-то не понял, серьезно.
busy now? Can I ignore you some other time?
Quit hassling me, detective. Isn't there work you should be doing?
Да походу нету.
Goddamn captain's making me resubmit the paperwork.
Да я что-то... Алло. А, вот.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. Thanks for coming in.
Call me Henry. It's the least I could do. Terrible news about Julia.
How well did you know Julia Randall?
Vaguely. I'm in the clothing business, and Julia occasionally modeled for me.
He's asking whether you banged her in a chuck on the shoulder fraternity kind of way.
I'm engaged to be married. It wouldn't be polite.
Answer the question.
This will remain private. Heather won't have to know. Yes. We had relations.
Miss Randall's landlady said she was seeing an older man.
Could have been. I wasn't privy to all the details of Julia's private life.
Сомневаюсь.
Spill it, Henry. You know nothing about a man named Henderson?
Yes, you're right. Henderson, yeah. Very distinguished.
How about a first name, wise guy? An address, maybe?
I'm sorry, I don't. I think he lives somewhere out of town. Somewhere back east.
Ever heard of a Jimmy LeBlanc?
No. Should I have? Is he an entertainer or something?
Бляха, давай интуицию.
So you wouldn't have any reason to believe that LeBlanc would be involved in Julie Randall's murder?
If this guy is a criminal, he might have been involved. But like I said, I've never heard of this LeBlanc character.
Heather told us that you were in fashion.
That's right.
I want to make homicide. I mean, you know you've made it if you got that dress.
Some kind of traveling salesman?
Once I got out of the Corps, I used my...
You were in the Marines?
Sure. I'm proud of it. The Fighting Sixth.
You were in the 6th Marines?
Yes. I was a captain.
Which company?
Various companies. We had a lot of casualties.
Which engagements?
Okinawa. A couple of other places.
That will be all for now, Henry. You've been very helpful.
That son of a bitch was never in the Marines. Why'd you let him off the hook?
Because we're giving him a couple of minutes before we start tailing him. Arnett is an amateur. We need to find out who killed the girl. Can you pass this on to the captain?
Потому что наш главный герой, походу, был в этом 6-м полку.
Thanks. Can you also have R&I run the records on a Jimmy LeBlanc and find out who was his last arresting officer? Have them get in touch via KGPL when they have some information.
Ненавижу слежки.
He's in that car at the lights.
He was squirming like a worm in there. Don't you love it when they pull the war hero excuse? Actually, maybe you don't.
Whoa, back off before we get made.
Притормозил, и что дальше? Блин, даже в GTA лучше просто следить, чем здесь. Ненавижу следить в играх. Он тормозит, я надеюсь. В смысле? А чё я сделал? В смысле? Ненавижу я слежки. Так и хочется пересчитать все зубы тому, кто придумал эти слежки вообще в играх. Серьезно. Хотя бы, чтобы увлекательные были бы они, сделали бы. А тут тупо едешь за кем-нибудь и все. Они сами врезались.
I'd have expected a cad like Arnett to be a better liar.
Почему ты не можешь сесть и вести? Почему именно я? Бляха-муха. Я сейчас усну. Да я чувствую, и вы сейчас уснете.
Where are you taking us, Henry? Too close, Phelps. Way too close. God damn it. Everyone's looking at us, Cole.
Да, бляха-муха, ну уже остановись. Мы здесь были, кстати, мы здесь слежку тоже делали. На пешочком, вспоминайте, ребят. Мы вот пошли вон туда потом.
Never stepped foot in Okinawa.
Ну, наконец-то. Лучше бы эти слежки вообще никогда в играх не делали. Вот серьезно бы. Раз придумали слежки, так сделайте их как-то уникальными. Так, чтобы интересно их было проходить. Что-то интересное придумайте этим слежкам. А то реально просто едешь и следишь. Все.